Hello, my friends, fellow traders and investors who love to enjoy watching me rant and rave in the marketplace, our woes, our trials, our tribulations, and our getting going ons, if that makes sense to you. Not to get too in depth on AMD advanced micro devices. We had discussed earlier a few weeks ago how, well, now I guess it was 3 months ago we took the actual position, and it's so funny how the market, it can, if you haven't experienced it, then it can really kind of like, it can almost upset you. Okay, it can upset you. It can not like seriously upset you, but it could bother you because it does maneuvers like this. Now, this is absolutely beautiful, what it's done. But just to recap, over here, it was down at $100, and we were looking at that monthly trend, and we were just discussing, okay, this is looking kind of a good opportunity to buy here. It's kind of bouncing off this monthly trend. This might be nice. Let me go ahead and put a buy in here around $100. I think it was $103 on our video that we were discussing. And, you know, the game plan was, okay, as long as it stays above 90, you know, maybe 95. I think I said 95 or 94 on the video. We're going to hold it. Okay, because it's looking pretty, it looks like a pretty good reversal off this trend here. And it ended up dipping below that. It got into the 80s and then a quick, you know, drop down in 1 week down to 76. So we ended up just getting out of the position at whatever it was, 94. And we just cut our losses and we said, okay, no big deal. We lost 7%, 8%, not a big deal. But looking at it now, look how beautiful this trade would have been. Well, that doesn't help you, man, because you lost on that trade and you suck. It doesn't matter. Going back and looking at it, it helps you realize, wow, I was right. And not only was I right, but it went further beyond than when I possibly could have imagined. And there's no telling when a company is going to make maneuvers like this. Okay. I mean, this maneuver right here, this is really akin to, you know, this 8 straight weeks of going up. Okay. This is akin to almost like how a cryptocurrency can behave, because they behave like that, you know, very quick. When they go up very fast. You know, when they go down, it's just, you know, it kind of drags down. But when it does go up, it flies up super quick and it leaves everybody in the dust. So it's kind of how AMD worked out here. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. $180 a share. I mean, you could see here by our gorgeous little squiggly over here, our ultimate greed, absolute greed of a take profit that we would have had was up here at 160, where that line is. It's gone well beyond that. So AMD is just leaving everybody in the dust. Yours truly. What a beautifully traded thing. So looking at this now and thinking, well, how could I have done this differently? Okay, because that's why when you document your trades, as I've mentioned before, this is my open book journal. This is real time documentation of my trades. So going back and looking at this, okay, we lost this trade. How could we have won this trade? Going with you see this downtrend over here, okay, this line we drew here, that downtrend. Okay. Going back and looking at that, had we simply just played the breakout of that downtrend, which happened right about here, 115, 114, 115, where it broke out right there. Waiting for that confirmation of, okay, we've broken out of the downtrend. That would have given this trade a little bit more conviction as opposed to just getting it on the bounce of the monthly, because it did that quick dip below to take liquidity. Because obviously I wasn't the only one that was seeing the opportunity here at $100, and the market punished everybody who was getting in at $100, because the market is much greedier than we are. But kind of proud that we did not chase this thing. We just let it do its thing. And wow, what a performer. I mean, that's amazing. I know it's kind of silly to be like, well, why are you wasting time talking about something that you ain't even make no money on? Because I've been in this for 4 years, and I'm going to be in this until the day I die. So using these examples of past trades and recording of them really helps kind of cement, yes, okay. Yeah, I've seen this before. It's done this before, so I'm prepared for it to do that. So on the case of AMD, or anything in particular, it kind of goes in hand. When I'm looking at a swing trade on the daily or the weekly or the monthly, and I'm seeing a upwards trajectory trend line that's saying, okay, looks like it's going to bounce from here. I might want to take a buy from here because I've seen this happen before. I need to be prepared to let it dip a little bit. Okay, let it go down a little bit. It's so tricky in this industry because on one hand, it doesn't matter what you say. On one hand, you say, okay, I want to keep my losses small, so I'm just going to cut it off small. And on the other hand, you're like, well, I'll give it plenty of room to breathe. So which one do you do? I think it tends to have more on the probabilities in your favor. At that time, when I was taking this trade, the main probability I had in my favor was that monthly trend. It didn't hold. It started breaking below it, so I got out. And I feel that was the right call. I know that was the right call. My only mistake was not paying attention to it and watching it get above that downwards trend line, because that would have given me a second confirmation on an upwards movement. Yeah, it wouldn't have been a good entry as we had at 103 if we had bought it at 115, but we would have had more information and more confirmation. So something like this, it's very tricky. It's very tricky, but this is absolutely a gorgeous maneuver right here. I know I promised my friends yesterday that we would discuss some Forex pairs and get into that. Hopefully we can get into that tomorrow, but today I just wanted to talk about AMD. What a performer. Wow. Even if you had bought at $100 a share and you held it, it dropped to 76, you were down 24%. You didn't sell it. You just had conviction in this company and you held it. Wow, you are getting rewarded today with 80%. I mean, that's amazing. It doesn't take that long. Look at this. It's only been about 3.5 months, okay? It's been about 14 weeks of just straight upwards movement. And you're telling yourself now, AMD to $500 a share. If you've made 80% on any position in the stock market, wow, you have really blown the doors off on that trade. But that's not what is being taught. You're not being taught to take that money out. I'm up 80%. I'm going to go ahead and pay myself to take it out. Everything that the world has taught everybody about trading and investing is you buy it and you hold it forever, because eventually your $100 that you bought is going to turn into $100,000. Okay? It's going to 1,000 times its worth. Your $10 you bought in that stock is going to be worth $10,000. Okay? Think about the multiplication factor on that. Think about the multiplication factor on that. That is crazy. It's like we've discussed that on Walmart to death. Buying Walmart, great. You're buying stock in Walmart, big company, doesn't seem to be going anywhere, pretty stable. But are you buying Walmart as kind of a cushion of saying, okay, I have some value in stock in Walmart. It's going to hold its value very well in good times or bad times? Or are you buying Walmart stock thinking, oh, this stock's worth, I think it's about $100, just off the top of my head. Well, this stock's worth $100. Walmart's going to go to $1,000 a share. Is it? Really? Think about how global and how big Walmart is right now. You really think that Walmart as it is, sorry for my English, right now, that it is going to go 10 times larger worth than it is now? Wow, you have some dreams, my guy, and aspirations on the value of these companies. Okay? Buying stocks like that really have those crazy growths where they 100 times their value, 1,000 times their value. Those are companies that if you're buying that at the very beginning. Okay? You're buying Tesla when it first came out. You're buying Nvidia's when it first comes out. You're buying, good example is Roblox when it first come out. Roblox is sky high right now. I should make a video on Roblox right now. That buying companies early, that's where you see that crazy growth. But when you're a trader and you're just trading positions from here to here, you're essentially trading where the liquidity is lying. Getting an 80% like on this AMD it's just as good as getting 100 times your money. It really is. All those IPOs and new companies that get listed, you put $1,000 into each one that comes out. 99 of them, you end up underwater. And only one of them ends up being worth their salt. And sure, that one ends up being a Roblox or an Nvidia, but you know, that's a whole different investment game right there. You know, if I'm investing in something, I'm buying something and I'm holding it, I'm buying and holding it for long term, not just me, my kids' kids, 100 years from now. Am I of the conviction that company or that asset is going to be there 100 years from now? If so, I'll buy it and I'll put it away. And I'll let it sit for my future, if that makes sense. But when it comes to trading, we're just trading position to position. Right now, AMD looking good. Where are we at on the monthly? Look at that on the monthly. Now, This is something to keep note here, okay? I'm just saying, sure, we can go higher. Sure, we can go to $500 a share. But right now, as a trader, the number one thing that I see here, look zoomed out, looking on the monthly, is the fact that we had a swing low and a swing high. Okay, a higher high. Well, guess what happened at that $76? It made a lower low. So now if you're a market structure person, you see that this 180, well, we're kind of at a lower high right now. We're not making a higher high. This could be the start of a downtrend. Okay, how low? Who knows? But I would not be buying this today, not at all. Okay, I would simply just wait and see if it's going to break this upwards trend we have going on here. If it starts breaking down from that, I could ride a short at least down to touch that monthly trend again, which this time it would be 110, 111, 112, that area. But AMD, thing of beauty, it really punished the shorters bad. Everybody who had options on it to say, well, I think it's going down to $1. This company ain't worth crap. You have to be careful when you're shorting something like any company, you know. And honestly, why would you be shorting in this area here where all the money's been taken right now? Why are you shorting this right here? I don't understand that. I've never understood that. But that's because I'm a reversal trader. I've never understood the concept of prices falling and people are selling off. That is beyond me to be able to do that anymore. If price is dropping, the market is setting it up for something. When price is falling, I'm looking for a buy. Am I buying everything? No, but I'm starting to take nibbles as price is falling. And then as price is rising like this, that's when I start selling off my shares. Happy, easy-go-lucky, selling my shares. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. But I'll keep it short. I will work my best to get some Forex videos in for everybody. I love everybody. Please like and subscribe for your boy, because we having nothing but fun presenting these hilarious rants and raves in the marketplace. And we will see everybody on the next video. Peace.